The identity of a locomotive lies in her whistle. The one thing people take away from the steam experience is that rich, melodious sound that echoes of a time gone by. For over 20 years, my family and I have been creating custom whistles for the live steam and amusement scale railroads all over the world, from 3/4 inch to 5-inch scale and everything in between. While we were vacationing last year, I had the opportunity to visit the Virginia and Truckee Railroad in Carson City, Nevada. As we boarded the cab to meet the engineer and fireman, the discussion of a new whistle came up. They were completely dissatisfied with the sound of their current whistle, and a request was made to have a better-sounding, West Coast-flavored whistle. After returning to the Niles shops and discussing the project with the rest of the family, it was decided that we would build 2 full-size steam whistles for the V&T. This would give them a chance to pick the one that represented their railroad the best, and give us a chance to build 2 full-size whistles, something that we had never done before. About 6 months later, Thomas Gray, the owner of the railroad, dropped off the original whistle to us at the end of their operating season. This would allow us to take measurements and made up a new bell to the existing base, eliminating the need to machine a completely new one from scratch. Once I found the sounds I was looking for from video clips on YouTube, I asked Mark Morello, an accomplished musician and educator, who also happens to be my wife Heather's brother-in-law, to determine what notes each of the whistles were sounding. Once I had the notes, I applied some math to determine the chamber lengths of each of the 5 chambers. My father then set to work cutting all of the pieces of steel that would make up the inside of the whistle. Once all the pieces were machined and interlocked so they couldn't move during welding, it was off to my brother's shop in the Sierra foothills. Steve welded the interior vanes with a MIG welder and the bell to the vanes with traditional stick welding. After all the welding was complete, the whistles were tested on air to make sure they both performed as predicted, and the video was sent to the V&T for approval. We returned to the Nile shops and finished the machining on the 2 whistles. The outsides were turned, sandblasted, and painted black, and the insides were painted red. The caps were sent out to be engraved with our name, and packing boxes were built. On Saturday, June 8, 2013, at 7:45 a.m., the first whistle was installed on the McCloud River No. 18. All the planning, machining, and overwhelming stress would be resolved with the first pull. Would it work as designed? Would it overblow? Would the railroad be happy with the sound? These were all questions going through my mind as I pulled the cord for the very first time.
Jeez, Ryman! Oh.
That's a little loud. Yeah, baby.
It was a success, and I could breathe a little easier. All the work and stress was forgotten about with the sound of that first pull. Over the next 2 days, each of the whistles had an opportunity to run on the train from Virginia City to Carson City, a round trip of about 30 miles or more. was said and done, whistle number 30, a standard Nathan sound, was chosen to be the new voice for McCloud River 18. We could never thank the crew or the owner of the Virginia and Truckee Railroad enough for the opportunity and experience they provided to us. We made some great friends, had a wonderful time, and we now count them as part of our closest railroad family. So the next time you're in Carson City, stop by the Virginia and Truckee Railroad and take a ride on one of the best short lines in the world.